My people, welcome to the Temple of Geek podcast. My name is Kari, and I will be your host as we share our thoughts on A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, aka Duncan Egg, episode 4. If you haven't watched the show, please save this episode for later and come back because there are going to be spoilers. Thanks so much for tuning in to Temple of Geek. And today I have my favorite people on again, and we have Sue back. What's going on, guys?
I missed you
Hello,
guys.
so glad you're here.
So happy, so happy to have the whole crew back together. Just real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself and where they can find you on social media. JJ, you can start off first.
Sure, you can find me under username Lady Dragon JJ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I post about A Song of Ice and Fire and other nerdy things and everything interesting in pop culture. And yes, this is House Bolton T-shirt. I know what you guys are going to be wondering. Yes, because I am that person.
Awesome. And Sue?
All right, you can find me at Sue's Theories or SUS Theories across social media. I do a lot more kind of like interviews with creatives behind the scenes, celebrities, that sort of thing. I also cover film festivals and just like talk like but TV that I'm watching or films that I'm watching that I really enjoy, specifically around like representation when it comes to like North Africans, Arabs, Middle Eastern folk, and Muslims. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna get into this episode 4. This one was a little bit heavy and also really, really like emotional. This is, I think, where things just now you can see everything is gonna turn to a very different type of energy and vibe in the show overall. So, what were your thoughts about episode 4?
I think so far it's my favorite. I would say I think Squire was pretty good. I like that the focus was taken away from Dunk for a second, and given to Egg as that was more of his episode. But this one just takes a different approach. I think as far as like the tone of the show is concerned. Obviously, we have a very serious thing that happens at the end of episode 3, and now the consequences of that are in full swing. So, and all of the hope and all of the everything that Dunk felt initially when he walked into that tourney, all the luck he thought he had with the shooting star, that's all of it is sort of like snuffed out. And I think that's really well demonstrated in the opening sequence. I don't know if you noticed the opening sequence of being a night sky that turns into a dungeon, and all of a sudden we had the revelation of Egg being Aegon, and now the drift between Dunk and Egg is taking place, which Dunk has every right to be mad, but he also doesn't remain too mad at him. He's a kid, and he's a good kid, and he recognizes that later on. So, and this episode is more about kind of like putting things into place to get us to Trial of Seven, the finale of all of this. So it definitely takes a different turn. Like gone is the humor that we're used to. It definitely is more serious, I would say, with some joke here and there. But I there was at the end of it with the Game of Thrones music, I was like, I had like a fangirl moment. I'm like, I know this show like was not gonna do like the iconic soundtrack, but it worked in that scene so well. I was taken back to the Game of Thrones days when they were really great. So from what I noticed on social media, people loved it and they loved that moment. They loved Baelor stepping in, so I loved it. So
Awesome. What about you, Sue?
I agree with JJ. Like, there's like a huge tonal shift in this episode, and it's kind of like what we were leading up to. And we knew that there was going to be a tourney, and we're like, this isn't technically a tournament, but still, we knew that there was going to be some form of like fight that's happening, and like things kind of get serious for Dunk, especially. And yeah, after like the big reveal of episode 3, like now it's just like the stakes are higher, and now Dunk is having to like get all of these knights on his side essentially, and he's like how like he could barely even find somebody that was remembering Arlen, and now he somehow has to like get a team together in order for him to have like any chance at survival. And so like it's like really the stakes have like gone up, and it's gotten, yeah, serious tone. It feels more Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, like the seriousness of it. I love that we still had a little bit of the humor, and I love that like we are getting a more serious part of the story going, because there is a lot, I think, that is at stake, and there is like it's nice to kind of have the fun side, but now it's like, okay, we're getting into like the deeper things that are going on, like more of like the politics are showing up now in this episode, which I enjoyed. And we're getting to see like more of the characters kind of reveal who they are, like and also getting to see a little bit more of just like the nature of each of like the different sort of like social classes and each of the individual characters. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one.
I feel a little bit sad because we're so used to like finally getting something kind of optimistic and lighthearted, because Game of Thrones itself is just not that. It's very much more serious, and so now we're getting back into like the regular programming of Game of Thrones, But I like that we're gonna get a little bit more into what you said, Suhela, the politics of it all. This is something new that we hadn't known before, the Trial of Seven. So again, we're getting a little bit more lore exploration there in this universe. Yeah, I think I'm just like a little bit nervous of how this is gonna all end up, as when they start the fights, and how everybody is going to continue from now on, because this is a very big deal, but what's going on. Overall, another great, amazing episode. Of course, the show has been nothing but amazing. But then we see at the beginning of the episode Dunk and Egg, and that I was like, my heart is so
Yes,
broken for
I
these
do.
two. My God.
Dexter saw Ansel's big eyes swelling up with tears as he's apologizing. I was like, no.
And like, you know, it's coming, but it still hurts.
And he's like dressed in his little princely clothing. He looks so serious, and he's like, it was adorable. He brought him food, which didn't look like hard salt beef. It looked like a real meal. It had bread and had like a rack of lamb leg, I think, I'm not sure, and like a cup of wine or ale, whatever they're drinking. So like he wanted to take care of him like in that moment. I thought it was so cute. And he's crying and he's apologizing. But I love what he said. Like my uncle said, like my uncle told me that to apologize to you for deception. So I love how like Baelor is just completely like an honest and honorable man, like in every possible angle. So it's like your uncle, the heir to the throne. The way he's like like Egg is saying that like it's nothing. I know, like it's like they can't get on the same page, like what's actually taking place. Like they go from like Hedge Knight and a squire to a prisoner and a princeling, as I put it. They go from the luck is all ours to bad luck. We met each other. Like to me, that's what he said. That is so sad. It's a direct callback to the ending of episode one, and I thought about that for such a long time. And even with the stars becoming the dungeon and Dunk like petting the rats, like usually when you see people being kind to animals, it speaks a lot to their characters. Even with the horses, with rats, with dogs, with animals in general, kindness to animals speaks to your character for the most part, narratively at least. So like they show all of these little things, and um, but yeah, Dexter Sol Hensel, like he's so young still, he's got a long career ahead of him, but like that was some award-worthy acting right there with those big swollen eyes from crying. I was like, oh, don't make him cry, Dunk. But we can't have a little princeling miss out an attorney. I love that.
No. And like you can tell that like he's definitely very hurt, very angry, very like unsure of his situation and what's going to happen. Like for all he knows, they're about to execute him, right? Like he has no idea what's about to happen. And yet even at the end of that like argument, he's still like you could see him sort of like reining it back a little bit because he could see how affected Egg was by that conversation. And he's like, he's still a kid, you know? And it's like, oh, these two, I like need them back together like immediately. It just, I love their dynamic. And like the actors as well, both of them just play off each other so, so well. And they just do such a good job. I love it.
I do wonder how that chemistry test went between the two actors. Like, what was it that made them like, oh, that's it. That's Duncan and Egg. I mean, I'm always curious about that whole process of how that goes. So obviously, it worked because two of them they bounce off each other, the humor and now like the emotional aspect of it all. Now that the truth has been revealed, so
But the thing that immediately came to mind was Frankenstein in the movie when he's also like playing with the rat or like essentially living with the rats and petting them and everything. And another example of like, you know, this like sort of gentle giant, right?
no, that's actually a great point. Good reference.
That was actually really great. Yes, that's a great callback. Speaks to the type of person there, because normally, you know, if you are gentle to those that are weaker than you,
Yes.
Especially rats because because like they carry disease. They're like, you know, seen as like rodents to just kill, like to squash out in the middle of the road. Like they're not like in terms of like animals, specifically rats are also like they're very low on the totem pole of animals that like humans will ever treat well, right? And so seeing somebody like that actually treating them well, or having some sort of little connection there, is always a good sign.
I do have to point out a very uncomfortable piece of lore for you guys regarding rats, and why Dunk might have been okay and been okay with rats. So he's grew up around a lot of rats because at least from the conversation with Egg in episode 3, I think, or beginning of 4. No, I was in 3, when he says that his father sold rats and animals and birds for a bowl of brown, which is oh, I'm so sorry. Which is this a stew.
Oh, so rat stew. Oh,
But that
Here I
just
was thinking that King's Landing just has a lot of rats, and because they would have been around.
do you remember the rat catchers being hung in episode 2 or 3 of House of the
of
Dragon?
House of the Dragon, yes, yes.
So there was this increase of rats in the city because he did that.
Oh my god.
So now, like, there's a lot of poverty on the lowest bottom of King's Landing, called the flea
Yeah.
bottom. Overpopulated. It is literally everybody's stacked on top of each other. It's so overpopulated.
So what do
they-
you do? You eat whatever there's extra of. Oh my god.
It's called bowl of brown.
You get your protein however you can.
Bowl of
it's
brown.
rats. It's rats. It's cats.
my
It's
God.
dogs. It's you. If it moves, it goes into the bowl.
It goes into the bowl. Oh my god.
So to him, he's just petting like a rabbit that he's gonna eat later.
I know,
Basically.
right?
And he's been around them, but
A
also
little
like petting
chicken
them
that
with gentleness. It's again, like, people that are nice to animals usually speaks to their character. But I just thought I shared that. I
Yeah.
don't know, Monica.
Oh, that's
I mean,
that's a very good.
also, as a hedge knight, he probably had very questionable meals like throughout his entire
Oh,
life. Right? Like,
absolutely.
You know it.
Absolutely.
again,
know
if it moves, it's food. Like,
Food.
Oh my gosh.
oh my goodness.
You
That's
can't find jerky all the time.
can't do
Salted
salt junk
beef
here all the time.
is-
Salted beef.
Yeah, that's a delicacy.
Let's step
Oh my
up,
goodness.
definitely.
Luxury.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But you also, you know who we see this with as well? We see that gentleness with Egg when he's training the horse.
Thunder, yeah.
When he's training Thunder. You saw at first he was like kind of like, oh, he was annoyed that the horse wasn't doing what he did, but he was like,
Mhm.
but you know what? I think that horse just don't want to be told what to do either. And then he's just like completely soft and he was like, oh my God,
That's right.
little
Yeah,
Egg.
good point.
I was like, this little baby. And then when he's in the dungeon, that it killed me. When he said,
Yeah.
I just wanted to be a scribe, sir.
squire.
I'm like, oh, squire, yeah. I was like,
Let
leave
him be
him
a squire.
alone.
And I just also want to point out the talent and the attention to detail from somebody who's consistently drunk because he's disturbed by these dreams, how close of a shave that head got.
I know. Oh, right.
Because he said Darren shaved it. I'm
There
like,
was the one
Darren-
that shaved him.
I'm like, was Darren
drunk when he did
sober? Or was he drunk when he did it? Like, why is it so smooth? How did he do it?
Yeah, no
My
cuts,
poor
no little
baby.
stuff. I mean, he had to lock
my
in because he's
God.
like, nobody can know.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. He had to
It's like,
really like
even
hold
if
in
he
and not
was
cutting.
drunk, it
Cut
was-
his. Yeah.
Moment
bad.
of clarity.
Oh my God.
Shaving poor little eggs.
Doesn't want to get in trouble with Makar. I better like at least sober up for an hour to shave his head.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But
And he's like
that
the
was
baby
great.
of
And
the
then,
family. He can't like cut
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
absolutely not. Especially
And
that
in the-
he's
in the-
so pale. You could see any kind of nick.
Everything.
got-
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the novella, Duncan doesn't notice it, but Egg's eyes are deep purple. They almost come off like really, really dark, but Duncan never
Oh,
catches
really?
on it.
I
Yeah.
wish we had the purple eyes. Oh,
I know we're missing the purple eyes. Yeah, it
That's the
sucks.
only
It
thing
sucks.
missing the whole time is the purple
That's
eyes.
what,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a lot of politics around Baelor are complicated because of his eye color and his hair color. That he looks like his mother, Dornish mother, because of the dark hair and dark eyes. So there's a lot of like the Blackfyre Rebellion that they talk about, the Redgrass Field, Daemon Blackfyre, like all of that is part of it is rooted in the aesthetic. Like he doesn't look Targaryen. He doesn't have the platinum hair, the purple eyes. He's got his Dornish features, which is a dark hair,
Got
dark,
it.
dark eyes. Yeah.
Heaven forbid
So-
a son turns out looking like his mother.
Right. He's mix of both, but definitely picked up all the other features from his mom, and it's noticeable at court. Yeah.
Ooh, dark features. Ooh, poor thing.
Which, when you have kings that had platinum hair and purple eyes for so long, and also like keep in mind, Dornish have just come into the kingdom, like just recently. They're folded in, so they're now part of it. And there's always this complicated dynamic between the rest and them. So now, like the king currently is married to a Dornish woman, and their queen is Dornish. Mind you, this kingdom did not fold in until 100 and some years later, and all of a sudden they have a Dornish queen.
I was going to ask if that marriage was like what brought Dorne into the fold. Like, was that a
Correct.
political marriage? Yeah, okay, so yeah, well
So
then that makes sense. Like,
well, Rhaenyra's grandson would start the process of like making peace with Dornish. Like they were tired of going back and forth all these years. Like his brother died because of it. So now he started the process, and then Daron basically pushing back against his insane father who just wanted to keep warring with them. That's why they hated each other. And then he marries a Dornish woman, promises his sister to a Dornish prince. So all these things kind of fall into place, and Daron, the current king in this timeline that we're in, he brought in Dornish court and was very lax on taxing them, and like he let them do kind of what they wanted, which and then other lords are like, wait a minute. So now you have different dynamics and different politics happening here. So Baelor looking the way he does is part of the rebellion. So you'll never get that out of these series. Maybe in a season 2 when if they open up with the Redgrass like flashback. I don't know. I'm not sure. So, but yeah, that's part of it.
That's
got it.
awesome. That's cool. So now we go into Dunk actually like pleading his case in front of Makor and Baylor and everybody. And I think what it was, it's not supposed to be funny, but it is. I think everybody was so annoyed with Ariane. Yo, their faces the whole time, like this little motherfucker, like fuck,
Stares in
man.
His
disgust.
own father. His own father's done with him.
Before we go to the trial of seven, I do want to like get back to the conversation between Dunk and Baelor in the beginning, because I do think it's an
Mhm.
important one when they're talking about like, because he says, my uncle wants to speak to you." Like,
I do love that they had the conversation because Dunk was like not afraid to push
mm-mm,
back, to Baylor.
at all. They have a connection seemingly. I think because he like vouched for him in a first or second episode, they sort of like kind of saw eye to eye. And also like what was I going to say? Baylor's seen reading books, waiting for Dunk to come in, and I'm always like, why is he reading books? Like, is he trying to find a loophole for him or something? I thought that would be neat. And now the question is like, how do you like what Tansel did? Technically, can be seen as treasonous act. Was it innocent? Was it meant harm? No. Can it be perceived as harm? Yes. Mind you, we are a little over a decade after a revolt, a rebellion that Baelor had to put down. So now that's why it's like
Yeah,
it
that
takes
was
very
very
little.
risky.
It was
That
such
was
a
very,
risk
very risky.
because you're innocent but unwise. I think that was the word that he used. So none of it excuses Arian's actions, but like if he's going to frame it like through propaganda or through media, yeah, he'll frame it as treasonous act. Like if somebody, let's say, in the current saga, took a lion and slit it, cut its head off, Tywin Lannister would probably react very strongly
And
to
very
that.
strongly, yeah.
You,
No, yeah,
you're making
that's true.
it's a not that again. Tansel would not do this for that reason. It's just perceptions, I guess. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Hmm.
Perception,
Yeah,
how it looks.
how it
So
looks,
I
yeah.
thought that conversation was so interesting. Like you would have done the same. Like I probably would, but I am also a prince. Like there's rules to be followed. Like the whole conversation to me was so great. I loved it. Anyway, I'm
I
yapping too much. I'm sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. No, no, I love that we get because it's not just black and white. There's like so much, you can't pick one side or the other because there are consequences and there's to every little action, and there's no right or wrong in in this position. So it's very hard to try to figure out how to handle this, you know? Because if you do one thing, okay, but it wasn't that serious. But then over here, because of the politics of it all, it is that serious. And it's like, but he's a good person, but he disrespected a prince. Like, It's
Yeah.
very complicated.
And what Baylor said to Egg, the way he scolded him, like, you should have came to me. Like, it was no time. Like, what you did is you did him no service. You did him disservice by and recognizing and I don't think Egg understood what was happening, that he would endanger Dunk's life or how Dunk would react. He just knew that Dunk would act to save Tencel because that's what he does. He trusts him to do that. So I thought that was so great. I'm like, you did him disservice or injustice. Oh, I was like, wow. Baylor keeps it a buck. He keeps it above the water. Like, yeah, and he understands how complicated ruling is, and that's like the whole point of A Song of Ice and Fire. It's when you have power, like, what do you do with it? How do you lead people? How do you make everybody happy? Those are the difficult answers because there's none. So you just have to kind of go through motions. Especially like at least in the current saga in the Song of Ice and Fire, like Jon Snow and Daenerys, they are constantly called to leadership. Constantly, they're young, but they're constantly called to leadership. They don't want to, and they have to. So now, what do you do? What do you do with power? Similar concept here. Like, what do you do with all that power? And Baelor, I think, is demonstrating the complicated nature of like making the right decision and not angering everybody or gods or family or noble lords, all these different things.
Yeah. I don't know if this is quite right, but I also feel like Baylor would have already kind of known what this play was about because like they've been putting it on like night after night, right? Like I don't know if it has changed or whether it's the same play night over night, but let's say it is, some I'm not sure, but it almost seems like Baylor is not surprised by the nature of like what is being, what they're playing on stage. And I don't think that he would have done anything about it had Arion not gotten, super defensive about it and or offended about it, right? Because there's politics at play of like, what do you allow to be sort of like, said in, and it's not even like just like this is like right in an area where they are at, right? Something that they're going to be exposed to. It's not just like they're leading often in this one place in the city, and then like people all the way on across kingdoms in another place are playing this. This is like they're right in the middle of it, right? And so there is like there's almost like a blind eye that he's sort of kind of maybe giving to this play, but then Arion, because he doesn't actually understand the politics of it all, and he's still young, he seems very hot-headed, he's probably got some issues that we're seeing based on what Egg is saying, right? And even like based off of his own dad's reaction to him, like he's very like hot-headed and he got really offended about something that the rest of like I mean his own uncle and father didn't seem to be very offended about. Even within that conversation, they weren't talking about like was this actually treason or not. Like that was beside the
Right.
point. It was then like the actions afterwards, right?
And how that would be
the
reframed
exactly
down the
right.
line. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it could
It
also
just
be seen as like suppression of like if you're like speech, or even could be seen as like weakness for them to shut down that production, that play in and of
That's a good
itself,
point.
right?
You draw more
And
attention to a thing when
to
you,
it
yeah.
When you give it too much attention. But
exactly, and that's kind of
I'm
what
also,
Arion did.
yeah, and I also to go back to what you said last podcast, JJ, about how now that they don't have dragons, they have to find another way to assert their authority, right? And so again, this goes back to that, like, oh, well, people are now joking about killing dragons. Are they joke like are do they consider us a joke now because we don't have dragons? You know,
Yep.
all of that.
Yeah.
So
Or
yeah.
by allowing them to joke about it, it's signaling that they're not bothered by it essentially. And it's like, they have power in other ways. Dragons weren't the only means of power that they have. And that's why they're still ruling now without having dragons for however many years.
Well, that's why they're also like at the tourney. I was telling Kari in the last episode, Targaryens would never be at the tourney of a lesser lord at a birthday party. This is an expensive birthday party, is what it is. With their dragons, they're not showing up to this. Without them, they have to play the game. It's Game of Thrones, she
Yeah.
said.
Hey,
But you know what I mean? They have to. They got to show face. They got to assert themselves. They have to show. Hey, we're still in charge. Yeah, there's no flying beasts anymore, but we're still in charge. But
hmm
but also at the same time, like you still have to like peace is very fragile. So you have to be kind of careful like how you move. Like if you see Tansel playing with killing a dragon, do you kill her? Do you snap her fingers? How does that look to small folks? For me, that's more seeding rebellion. That's more angering the people than anything else. But Arion is obviously with Egg later saying, he was putting knife to his private parts to geld him, essentially throwing cats down the well. He thinks his dragon dragon in a human form. Something is obviously wrong with him. Not just like he's crazy, he's violent. Like there's just other things at play there. Like he's just deeply disturbed character. But also like Finn Bennett is, I have to give him credit. He is so incredible in this role. The mannerisms at that table, the way he's chewing the nuts, the way he's like moving his tongue around, his teeth, his eyes, the way he's making like eye contact with the family members, with Lord Ashford, and just like the mannerisms. He's so good in this role. I think it might be my favorite portrayal of a crazy ass Targaryen. I love him. I absolutely love him in this role. He's so good.
But I love that he portrays this like he's so like arrogant and like mean and spirit. But then as soon as it comes to his father, he's like, oh, well, that's dad,
Little
like
baby, yeah.
little baby. Like I at least I'm like surprised that he still shows him that respect. Some sort of respect to his father, but only in his presence. When he's not, then it's like I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want.
That's why he killed the horse. Maekar was looking for Daron and Egg. He wasn't there. That's why he killed the horse. It was power play. It was power trip. It was to show people they can't mess with dragons. I also think part of it was to undermine his uncle. There's all these different things at play. I think I have some theories on that, but I do think part of it is that he was undermining Baelor. Like 3 things happening at the same time: arrogance, power tripping, and undermining Baelor. The way he like nodded at him is like, I'm gonna make this place so toxic, no one's gonna be on a part of it ever again.
There is a little bit of, I don't want to say genius, but there is a little bit of intelligence there behind the craziness of Arion.
He knew what Trial of 7 was. Maekar didn't. You're right. Absolutely.
Exactly. Like there is a little bit of like, I'm not even going to say intelligence, but there's like something there. It's not just.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's not just somebody, he's not making the smart moves, but he is making moves based off of stuff that he's like tried to learn. Like he's done some due diligence. There is a little bit of maybe plotting and planning. It may not be actually like intelligent or smart in by any means, but there is something going on behind the scenes there. It's not just him being rash and him being reckless and him, just defying authority and stuff. There is part of that, but there's something behind why he's doing all of that stuff, other than him just being crazy.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Not everything is, you're right. You're 100% right. Not everything is an irrational decision or an irrational act. There's definitely a thought process behind it. It's almost very calculated.
They're calculated. That's the word I was trying to look for.
Yeah. Not behaving so ungallant in front of his father, like invoking Trial of 7, which, and a lot of people had an issue with Maekar not knowing what Trial of 7 was, which, would he know that? Maybe. Should he know that? Should he really? Because he's nowhere near the succession line. Why would he? And he called it like, why? It's an Andal foolery. My favorite line, because anybody that knows me knows that I am very pro old gods. So I was like, oh, this was written for me, the Andal foolery. I'm like, yeah, I can see a Targaryen prince not giving a shit about Andal foolery. I totally get it. And the last time it was invoked was 160 years ago. Oh, so wow. Would you remember every small custom, every small little thing that was done century and a half ago? Is it reasonable? I think is the question. I don't think it makes him stupid. I don't think it makes him ignorant. I don't think it's emblematic of who he is. It's just he didn't care to learn about it. Dumb Andal foolery. Yeah.
And let's say he did know about it and he forgot. Like they're going to a birthday party. They're not actually like strategizing for like war or any like, right? If they were actually like in the mind space of strategizing and all of that, yeah, he's going to brush up on all of that stuff in order to have everything in his arsenal. But they're going to literally like a birthday party. They're showing up, having fun, getting drunk, watching a tourney, participating in it, and then going home. Like that's
your sons were lost earlier. You're at a lesser lower. Yeah.
Exactly. He's got more important things on his mind as well. Like his sons got lost. They just came back. Now his other son is fighting a knight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, this is supposed to be like a, put his legs up kind of weekend. Kind of correct. Vacation. And now he's got like all his sons causing trouble. He's a father. That's why he looks aged.
Yeah, he is. A single
He's
mom who
done.
works 2 jobs.
Literally, he's done with their shit. Like, just absolutely done with them.
Fun fact: his
Um,
wife is also Dornish. So there are a lot of
oh,
Dornish people.
interesting.
Yeah, Danes are
Oh.
Dornish. Yeah, Arthur Dane, you guys remember from Game of Thrones? They're Dornish. His
Hmm.
wife was.
Mm.
She passed away. That's why he's like raising these kids alone. He's a single dad.
Literally, literally.
Literally a single dad.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I did not have a problem with that. Him not knowing, Arion knowing that makes sense to me because he uh he he would have probably maybe brushed up on like what he can use against Dunk, but also like that last time this was done 160 years ago, it was done by one of the worst Targaryen kings in the history. Like I would not be surprised if kings after that tried to like kind of brush away that piece of history. You know what I mean? Kind of propagandize it, erase it a little bit. Like I have a feeling I would not be surprised if Arion was like standing over Maegor the Cruel, who invoked it the first time 160 years ago, and he was like a fucked up king. So like he would worship a very cruel king who invoked it 160 years ago. So for me, it made sense. I did not have a problem with him not knowing. I do like that Maekar has personality in this show because usually all you hear, oh, he's stern, he's a warrior, he's very like easy to anger, like he just doesn't forgive easily, and that's it. Like there's descriptions of him like here a couple of things, and here he has a whole personality. He's a little funny, he's a bit of an asshole. Like I like what they've done with Maekar a lot versus if they just left him be a one note, one dimensional kind of character. So.
Yeah. I also kind of wonder if Arion sort of brushed up on this because he had a feeling that Baelor would try to help Dunk out. He probably knows his uncle well enough, right? Or he knows kind of like, okay, well, this isn't, they're going to have to do some sort of like political thing that would be seen as like, that would be received well by like the common folk that are in the area
Because
and
you
wouldn't
can't
be
just
seen
do this to
because you can't
Dunk.
exactly, which is what Arion would have wanted, right?
Right.
They can't just do that. So he kind of knows what might be kind of next that they would think of. And so then he's like trying to thwart them by any means possible by doing this
You're
trial of
so spot
seven
on.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Even like
But
trial
again,
of combat, yeah, like he's not gonna do it because he saw how tall Dunk is. He could take him, but I mean, Arion is very skilled. Like, let's not brush down or lower his or tone down his skill sets. Like, obviously, we've seen him joust, but I do think he
And he
was to
plays
that
dirty.
point afraid. And but he plays dirty. That's absolutely true. So yeah, he would probably have all these little. He would be ready to go on this, especially knowing if Baelor is going to
Loopholes.
be like loopholes. Thank you. That's the word. That he knows that Baelor's not. It's not just going to chop off Dunk's head off. It's really bad for politics, bad for your image as a family that's already in the thin ice. So like,
he had to know that Dunk was going to try to invoke something like that. And he know, like you said, but then again, he knows that he wouldn't be able to go up one on one with him. So then he went and brushed up on what, like you said, what you guys said, what loopholes he could actually take advantage of there. So Trial of Seven, I think, was like a godsend to him,
it was.
essentially.
That's why Maker is pissed. It's a coward's way out. You don't want to face him alone. You're going to wait for 6 potentially other knights to knock Dunk's ass off that horse, to kill him or to have him yield. A lot of people don't seem to understand the rules of Trial of Seven, at least in the comment section that of one of my TikTok videos. I was like, wait a minute, I don't know what's confusing. You have 7 champions in each end. The trial ends when the accuser is either dead or he yields. That's it. It's just that you have more chances of like other champions killing other champions. So you might get lucky and get stuck with somebody that's less skilled. And you get a higher chance. So like, yeah, you have to yield or you have to die. That's how you're guilty. I'm sorry. Or you have to beat the accuser, kill or make the accuser yield to you. So those are the rules. I thought they were fairly simple. People seem to have been confused by that. So
Yeah, I maybe didn't quite get that part of it, but I mean, I'm sure they're gonna like show it and we're gonna like kind of see how it plays out. But at the very least, like you've got like the 7 on each side, and it is very clear that Arion's just trying to like essentially put people like in in the line of fire so that he doesn't have to be the one. And it's not even that Arion doesn't think that he can beat Dunk, it's that he knows he's gonna get injured on the way down. He doesn't even want that. Like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't want to have any like any sort of like injury or anything that would like make him seem weak, and getting injured would kind of do that. Like he could kill Dunk in the end, and he, like you said, he's very skilled, and maybe he has that confidence in himself, but he just doesn't even want to get like, injured on the way down. And
Insult to injury too, because he knows this lowly hedge knight. There's no chance in hell that somebody's going to step up for him. It's humiliation ritual. That's part of it too, I believe. Like it's you're trying to get justice or honor for your brother Daron. Number one, you don't give a shit about Daron. You don't know what Daron was doing. The lie that all he doesn't know any of that. He's just an excuse. Makar knows this, which is why he's pissed. But it's definitely a humiliation ritual. Like knighthood has fallen on its low. What is it called, on last leg or something? He knows that Dunk is not going to be able to get people, and part of that is humiliation, and maybe just to avoid direct combat with him. Also another factor. So it was a cheap trick on his end to do that.
yeah, and I think he is using it as a humiliation ritual because he felt humiliated when Dunk took him down, when he was trying to like serve his own justice, right? And he wouldn't have stopped had Egg not come and said something. He would have gone all the way and just gotten rid of Dunk right then, right
Oh,
there
he would
and
have
then.
died. He would have died for
Yeah.
sure.
And to him, like that insult of like, oh, he dared like hit me
In front of everybody.
in front of everybody,
That's
when
the
he's,
that's the worst part.
in a situation where he's, yeah, like that's to him like the big like insult there. And so he doesn't just want to take Dunk down because he could do it himself and prove that he's better. No, he wants like full humiliation, full like take him down in
Nobody's
like
on
the
your
worst way
side
possible.
in this. Yeah. Nobody wants
Exactly.
to die for
And make an
you.
example of him too, of like never come up against a Targaryen, you're gonna
Oh
lose.
yeah,
Like,
that's a huge part
right,
of it. Yeah, and not just that's not just even a message to Dunk, to message to the kingdom. Like, don't
everybody.
you cannot slay a dragon. Dragon will always win. What did
Hmm.
he say? Yeah, dragon will always
Hmm.
win. Yeah.
I think that is pretty much what he said. Yeah, like dragons always win or something like that.
Now Duncan's like completely like, oh my god, what the fuck am I gonna do? And then we see him back in the, he's over there with the fossil ways. He's with Stefan and with Raymond and stuff. And then we get an awesome moment where Stefan is doing this whole little monologue about, helping out and, doing it because I was so happy. I was like, oh, this is so freaking cool. I loved it. I mean, at least that Dunk had a little bit of hope there, a little bit of,
He
okay,
did. He
he did.
did.
And then we see Darian coming in with Egg as well afterwards, after the whole thing. They all feel bad. Like everybody feels bad except for Arian. Everybody, nobody wants this. Nobody wants
Nobody.
this. Nobody wants
Nobody.
this.
Except Arion.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think it's funny, and I think it was a bit of a. I don't know if this was a visually deliberate or on purpose. So right after Dunk leaves the council room where they decided Trial of Seven, what it is. So do you remember how Arion was chewing nuts the whole time, and it's very loud, like how nuts make
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
sound. I almost think, again, this is just me because I'm a freak, that he was eating nuts and chewing them loudly because he moved one of his teeth. So I think it was to like it had something to do with teeth, like moving teeth around. But also, the second he leaves and we are in the pavilion, he's talking to Stefan Foswick. He's also chewing very loudly. So I don't know if that was like a visual something like to suggest that Stefan would betray him later on. And also, like
Oh, like the
Stefan,
whole thing. Okay, yeah.
like if you see, like he's chewing, and all of a sudden Stefan is talking, really chewing loudly as he's trying to have this really decent conversation with Dunk. You would think like he would take a break from eating for a second to have a heart to heart with this man that's literally sentenced to death. You know what I mean? Like imagine like you having a serious conversation with me and I'm chewing to your face. I mean, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just how I interpret things. I would not chew in your face very loudly when you're telling me something serious. You're gonna die tomorrow, and I'm chewing in your face. I
No,
don't
you're
know.
right. And
Maybe
that was
that's just me that
also,
caught that.
no, you're right. And I think also like the reason Arion was like A, eating, and B, eating so loudly is to like, for him, this is like not like nonsense. It's not worth his time. It's not worth his energy. Like this is just like whatever, like, oh, I'm just here chewing like my little snacks while we decide your fate. Like it is like a very like nonchalant, like who cares kind of thing. But
Unserious
yeah, like,
moment.
yeah, exactly. He's like, this means nothing to me kind of thing. Like I'm not gonna stop my snacking. And like Stefan as well, I didn't catch that, but that is such a good point. because I literally wrote Stefan volunteers. Stefan, like capitals, like question mark question, because like did not expect that from him at all. Should have known something was up. Because he's also like the type of person that you wouldn't necessarily like think would come to anybody's rescue or anything. Like he's just in it for himself always. Like
To his credit, to Stefan's credit, which I can't believe I'm doing this, and somebody's going to clip me and cancel me. I think he made his intentions clear if you're listening to what he's saying. So, like, how do you get men into these situations? Like, you want knights who want to be memorized, immortalized in songs, aka seeking glory. To him, it's not about defending. Oh, hey, Dunk, you did the right thing. I want to help you out because this is injustice is being done towards you. No, I'm doing this because I want to be famous in a song. He says that. I think I wrote a note like, find men who wish singers to make immortal. So he says it right there that he's what his reasoning is to be in the trial, because again, you are part of something that's happened once, recorded history. As far as we know, this is such a very like rarely induced custom. So now you get a chance to be part of something huge that history will remember. And he says it. I want the glory. And I think one of the sentences he uses, I knew right. I mean, again, I read the novella. I know that he was going to betray him, but like, if I don't know this, what did he say? And I wrote this. And I wrote a note in my notes here. Tragedy so often follows after honorable men, but when I find myself without answers, the answer is always more glory. I love that line. I absolutely love it. I believe this, and I believe Stefan believes that in his heart. It's just what is his intention in all of this? Is it because he feels bad for Dunk? No, he has a chance to participate in a historical event, to be in a song. It was brilliant. Also, his armor is sickening.
So
Did you
the
see the
bronze,
apples?
like the copper,
the bronze and yeah, bronze or copper with the apples and the orchard. I think it's my
those
favorite.
vines. Oh my
The vines
god,
I genuinely think it's my
so
favorite. Oh
good,
my god, obsessed with his armor.
so
Obsessed with
good.
it.
the costumes in general in this show, like I know that they had a smaller budget than the other like Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, but they like did such a good job with like all of the like it's beautiful, all the armor is beautiful, like even like when you look at like the way that they have the costumes that Duncan and Egg are wearing, like that tells a story as well, but like the details that you see in all of like the armor and the costumes and like even like the background, like the set design and everything, like they're doing like a really good job like making it look so real. Like you see like the difference between like, you know, the armor of somebody who has like a lord's, like who's a lord or has some sort of status or wealth versus somebody who doesn't, and like it's just so well crafted, like the entire story that's being told through the costumes. I would love to talk to the costume designer.
I know.
But they just
Like
so good, so good.
even the little birthday girl, Gwyn Ashford, like she's in a yellow like velvet with a little tiara. It looks like a little princess, a little like noble lord's daughter. Like I don't know why velvet to me is such an important thing in costumes. When I see it, I just love it so much. Like the silk and the velvet, like everything. Yeah, I imagine a rich person would wear. I get a little frustrated with the younger Rhaenyra's looks, where everything looks really unironed. I just hated it. So I see Gwen now in that like beautiful velvet and like the lace on top of the bust here. Oh, she looks so pretty. Like stuff like that. Even like Tencel's costumes, they're so simple. They're very like summery. Again, she's from South where it's a lot warmer, so her clothing is going to be looser, more linen-y, more like free flowing type of thing. And obviously she's not a noble lady either, so it's not going to be like high end. But like you could tell that she's from South, that it's a lot warmer down there. And they're not too far. It's up in reach, not too far from where she's from. So the costumes in general, like you said, so far have been perfect. Baelor's outfit, I don't know if anybody noticed this. So he's a hand to his father, hand to the king. So he has he carries a little hand, literally a little hand. It's connected with a dragon scale. I noticed. So good.
I noticed. I paused. I think
with it.
It was so good. Like the little details and oh my goodness.
the stretches from here. I've seen Daenerys said something similar in Game of Thrones when she arrives
Yeah.
to Westeros. But
Yeah.
I think this one is just so smooth. It kind of goes very seamlessly from across his shoulder. It looks like a dragon scale. It becomes a hand right here. Oh, when I saw that, it was so
God.
good. The armor,
Chef's
like
kiss.
Stefan
Chef's
Fosway's
kiss.
armor, the Kingsguard armor, Lionel Baratheon's helm and his armor, like you can tell every house what they are. I was telling Kari last episode, like Valar Targaryen, Baelor's son, he has obviously black dragon with the red cape and all that, but the cape, cloak, cape, I'm not a magician. And his cloak, his cloak has thunderbolts all over it. That's his mother's house. So it's like those small little things, like Ira Parker new ball. I'm telling you, he knows what he's reading. So it's like he put little thunderbolts on top of his on top of that cloak, because Valar is honoring his mother, whose house has like little thunderbolts on their sigil. Like 10 out of 10. Like all the budget went into the
So good.
freaking
So good.
armor.
It's so that
Look
I
at
love
them.
it.
Crazy.
It's so good.
I want to touch on going back to the prophecy from Daron. So we get that prophecy in episode 3, right? I think it was it 3 or 2? No, it was 3.
Technically, he shows up in episode 1 at
No,
the
no, no. But I'm
end.
talking about the lady
Oh,
saying her
she's a
prophecy,
3.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So now we get Daron with his dream kind of correlating, like saying it in different words, saying the same thing in different words, right? And you could just tell. And you know what? Daron, the actor, is doing such a good job. Like you could feel that this is like he's just tormented. He's just I don't want this. This is like heavy, like a heavy weight on me. And when and he's telling Dunk these things, it's like he feels so sad. It's just a sadness to him because he knows that these dreams don't normally mean anything good. You know?
A big dragon was on top of you, but dragon was dead and you were alive. Although there is another part in the novella that about the dream that they didn't do on the show. I'm kind of surprised. I think that part was given to the witch or to the fortune teller. You're going to be richer than a Lannister. I think I think he was trying to split that part and give it to fortune, because fortune teller is not in the text. She's not
Mm-hmm.
there. That's an
Oh,
addition.
okay.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
It's either
okay.
Right, right, right.
Okay.
she's not. That part, we do not know anything about Summerhall and anything about Egg down the line. Anything like in the saga. So that was new, and I think they split part of Daron's dream with the fortune teller. You're going to be richer than a Lannister because Daron tells him, "I saw you dressed in something else." I'm not going to say what it is. And I thought like that was missing. I'm like, but we already kind of covered part of it, maybe with the fortune teller. And then he tells him about the big dragon that fell on top of Dunk, but the dragon was dead and he was alive.
Okay.
That was the
And I
fortune
think
teller that said it, right?
that was a fortune teller, like in that
Yeah.
conversation. And like, I think Dunk for the
Mhm.
first time in that moment felt a little bit of hope. I'm like, if the dragon is dead, he's thinking probably Arion, like maybe I have a chance. Like, did I kill it? He's like,
Yeah.
I can't tell you
Yeah.
that.
And I mean, we know technically, like I was gonna say, just because like we know this show has another season coming, I'm assuming Dunk makes it, right? Like you assume he's gonna make it through, but maybe unless the story changes. And so like, and also like with what's being told to him by the fortune teller and Daron, like you know he's gonna win in some way, or at least that's what it seems like. But it's like it's still like cryptic, and so you're like, what does it mean? I mean, like you can kind of like again, I was like, yeah, he's killing or at least defeating Arion in some way, but like we don't really like all I don't know how true like all this stuff like the dreams and the fortune teller stuff is. Although I think Daron does say like my dreams are not like yours, mine come true. So he's at
Mine
least
are
seen
real, yeah.
enough of his dreams, yeah, come true. So it's like, okay, well, we can kind of trust with what he's saying a little bit. But then also like when he does say like the whole like dead dragon thing, there's also a fire. So it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So like,
Look,
I don't know, but
keep in mind, like what Kari said earlier with Daron too, like he's clearly like is an alcoholic, like a heavy one, heavy one. Because again, these dreams are very bad. That needs to be, I think, stressed. Like they're deadly. They will drive you to do something, whether madness, whether sadness, whether melancholy. Usually melancholy. There's sadness in these characters that have these prophetic dreams. Like, well, look at Helena in House of the Dragon. Look at Daron. Daenerys, for example. Like, Daenerys is a different case, but that's a whole different thing. Like Rhaegar, very popular character in A Song of Ice and Fire, supposedly had these dreams, and he was just consistently melancholic. I mean, it drove his actions, and those actions cost a lot. So, like, I feel really bad for Daron. Like, when he says, "My dreams are now like yours, might come true," that must have been, he's seen plenty, but the problem is he can't describe it. He can only see metaphors. So, like, you're gonna come off as a crazy person, like saying like metaphors to people, and nobody's gonna take you seriously. So everybody's gonna laugh at you. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
It's also probably like in hindsight, he understands them, but as they're happening, he doesn't quite know what they mean or whether what he's seeing is literal or metaphorical or whatever. And so it's like he knows he sees something that's not good. He gets little flashes maybe or something. He doesn't know what to do about them. Something happens that then in retrospect, he's like, that's what that
Oh, wait
means.
a
And I
minute, that's what
kind of,
that meant.
right? And it's like, it drives him nuts, right?
And I'm sure he
How do you
would
live
love
with
to.
that?
Yeah. And it's like, then now he has to live with, like, damn, I could have done something. I could have prevented this. I could have saved
Yes,
their lives,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
That's
But in
an insane amount of, like, guilt and all of that to carry. Like, shit.
Yeah. And in reality, he couldn't do anything about them because he doesn't get enough. Like he doesn't get enough information or enough coherent information to actually do something about it. Otherwise, he would have. Or maybe if he thinks, because he's also interpreting it himself, and maybe he thinks something or interprets it one way, and that's like incorrect. And so it's like he he's stuck getting like these flashes and not understanding what they are. Yeah.
Even in House of the Dragon, if you guys remember, Helena was sort of like made into a dreamer. She sees future. She sees something is happening. Can't really verbalize it because, and again, I think the actress Fia Sabin, she was like, these dreams are not a call to action. And I don't think people understand like what that means. Like, just because she seems to be having a vision of something doesn't mean she can like gather forces to stop whatever's happening. So, like, when Blood and Cheese is taking place, when her child is being murdered in the crib, like, she's completely disassociated because she has probably seen it happening, but not really in a context of where it's happening. It's like, wait a minute. Like, she's almost like, am I dreaming right now? Is this happening? That's how I at least interpret it, like the way she looks almost lost when Jaehaerys when he's being killed. Um, they took a lot of creative liberties on that one. Like in the book, there's 3 kids, and she has to make a Sophie's choice. Essentially, I think it's a lot worse in Fireblood, way worse. Like everybody was dreading that being adapted, but they chose to make her a dreamer. So like think of it though, and when she said it's not a call to action, same with Daron. Like he probably has seen a million things unfold and couldn't do anything about it. And like Kari said, like, and a thing happens, is like, oh my god, that's what that was. I could have stopped it. But how do you do that? How? You end up looking like a lunatic that's just rambling different things. They make no sense. Like a dragon fell on you, but dragon was dead and you were alive. Like, how do you make sense of that?
Mm-hmm. And it'll like, I mean, it'll drive them to drink so that they don't have the dreams or are like, out of it enough that they don't have the dreams. And yeah, it's difficult. I really appreciate that about how George R. R. Martin did the whole dreaming things because in a lot of like fantasy and fiction, it's used as like a positive thing, but then if it's not something that's very clear and coherent with like an actual call to action and whatnot, then yeah, it's very disorienting and it's very difficult on the human psyche. And like the sort of like burden of the future in like little snippets that don't make sense is just like, what the hell? Like what do you do with that? So it's a really nice take on kind of this sort of dreaming, seeing the future sort of thing, and yeah, prophetic vision, because it's not an answer to everything. It's not a solution to stuff. Like it sometimes can be portrayed in fiction or fantasy.
because it's part of the self-fulfilling prophecy trope that you often see. Like, you're doing everything that you can to not fulfill it, but everything that you do, you end up right into it. By trying to avoid it, you end up right into it. So it's like you have to. I wouldn't even know how a character during that time period would even like Daenerys, for example, like at least in the current book, she's getting a lot of like call to action things happening in her prophetic visions. Do this, go here, go here. Like, how do you make sense of these things? But you're seeing things happening clearly. You're seeing your brother. You're seeing your two of your brothers. You're seeing their wives. You see things happening. How do you make sense of it? So, like for Daron, multiply that by a billion. I would say that I think he's constantly dreaming of all these horrific things, and that's why like he looks miserable. Look at his eyes. He's constantly like crying, and he just looks so melancholic to me. Like I think the actor did a really good job, especially outside when he's like when they're talking to each other. Like his face looked very tormented. Is that the word?
That is
Tormented.
tormented. Yeah, that's a
Mm-hmm.
good word. Yeah. After being in such a heavy moment, that's because it's a pretty heavy scene,
Mm-hmm.
having to see him deal with that. We get a little bit of a nice, like, a little bit hopeful, little a much prettier moment when Dunk goes with the smith, the blacksmith, to
Yeah,
go
Steely
get his
Pate.
shield. Oh my god, I love that moment so much. I was like, a little bit of sunshine ray, a little ray. Just seeing how beautiful that shield looked, and the fact that the blacksmith actually fixed his shield without him asking
Reinforced
for
it.
it,
Yeah.
reinforce it, because he did it out of the kindness of his heart. Like, dude, this is a good guy, and I want to do something nice for him. He knows that Dunk is going through some crazy shit right now.
Everybody's
Is
against, like
gonna
we said
go,
earlier,
yeah.
everything is that's happening is against it. Nobody wants this. So it's like he knows it's injustice. He knows what Dunk did. That he protected Tansel, and he's like, he gave him the armor, he gave him the shield. He's like, how much? I'll charge you a copper. Yeah. Steely Pate is one of the best characters in
Yeah,
this entire story.
yeah. But then Dunk still sees about how when he's the sunset, I think it was, what was it that he said?
He associated it with death. Yeah, it's red like blood or sun dying, and sun dying that signifying his own death. And then Steelypate reminds him, the elm is alive, the tree is alive. You are the tree. And I was like, oh my god, oh, can iron guard me well, or else I'm dead and doomed to hell.
So a quick connection between like Dunk seeing that in the shield and just before when he's talking to Daron saying like I see fire. Like it's almost like he's sort of thinking about what Daron was
Oh,
telling him, and then he sort of
that's
sees
right
that in the
after.
shield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
as opposed to seeing
sunset,
like I
Because
like
the
see.
sunset is
fire.
burning. It looks like burning in the
Mm-hmm.
back. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's but it's so sad. Something that he associated with beauty, like sunsets are beautiful. Sir Arlen loved sunsets, and he saw that shooting star in the
Mhm.
beginning that he thought would bring him luck. Like he now associates it with death, and like
Mhm.
Steely Pate has to remind him that the elm is alive. Like
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful moment. I think he needed to hear that, and then he charged him a copper for all the equipment. It was perfect.
It was
I
it
love
was
that
really,
people
really
have
nice.
his back. And I love that like
Yes.
people are so against Arion because they've already seen him like in that joust where he kills the horse and like everybody riots at that
Mm-hmm.
point. Like nobody
Mm-hmm.
likes him. He's just collecting enemies
Left and
everywhere
right.
and nobody can really do anything about him because he's like, royalty.
Yeah. What do you do with him? What do
But
you do
all
with
they
him?
can do is all they can do is try to help Dunk and I'm glad that people are like
As much
coming
as
to
you
his
can.
aid as much as they can.
Yeah. And I think Doug seeing that, it's probably giving him a little bit of like more of a like energy, or more, little bit of motivation, like, oh well, to
Yeah.
him, he had nobody was gonna come to his defense, nobody's gonna come help him out. And then now he's starting to trick, like, all these trickles, trickling down, like people actually coming up to him, like, and
Mhm.
being nice to him. Like, little gestures are very meaningful to him right now. Those little gestures are, I'm sure, are everything to him right now. Even though we know that Stefan Fosway ended up betraying him at the end, but
Mm.
just him in that moment, like, hearing that from him, whatever the reason Stefan had, he still came to try and help him out. Raymond is
Mhm.
still there, being his
Raymond
number
is still
one.
there.
That's like his number one,
Yeah.
baby.
That's
That's
his
his,
that's his
that's his
BFF right there.
boy. That's his boy.
Sir
That's his
Lionel
ride or
as
two,
die.
well.
two squires bonding. Yeah,
Hmm.
we love
Just
Raymond.
ride or die. And then
Oh, it was
now,
Egg that brought Lionel, not
yeah, and then now
yeah.
Mm.
we keep
Even
going, and
Egg,
now is Lionel coming, and then what's his the one-eyed knight? What's his name?
Robin Risling.
Robin.
Yeah.
Robert
Hmm.
Riesland. Like he's like sees all of them there. Is like, oh my, like I'm sure he just felt a little bit overwhelmed. Like I was not expecting this at all.
So you have on his side, obviously Lionel came because he's like, I want to dirty up a Kingsguard pretty cloak.
And also
So
because he wants to be part of. He also said he wanted to be part of history because,
hell yeah,
dude,
that's the
try
whole
to
part.
seven.
But even Robin Risling, like he's known as like the Mad Knight, and he's a zealot. He's a religious zealot. He's really into Faith of the Seven. So like for him,
Okay.
like to be part of Trial of Seven is like, oh, the crown is going against gods. I go against the crown. I was so good.
I love
And
that
then
line.
So
I know.
good.
And then the other two wanted revenge. Arion
Mhm.
owes them debt for the horse
Yeah.
with the broken leg. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and then Egg brought Lionel, which Stefan said he would. He said, I'm going to bring Lord Bracken, Lord Lannister, Lord Lionel. And then, like, you didn't do shit. You got promised lordship and you dipped because you're a little
Out.
I don't even think he got. I think he like went to him being like, "Oh, hey, I'm betraying him. Give me like he's using the fact that he's not like he was bargaining with Arion to like get
for
him
sure.
to right. Like it was. Yeah, it's not I hate him so much now. Stuff. I was like, there's
It's
a
a dude.
moment there where I was like, maybe
Because how would
he's
Arian know that he went? It had to be Stefan going directly. Like, listen, I told him I was gonna fight for him, but if you give me this, then I'll just fight for you. Then, like,
Yeah.
You know how unfolded? It's implied, not confirmed. Fosterways lost their lordship status. They're just knights. They might have lost it during dance because they didn't support Rhaenyra.
oh,
They
okay.
supported Aegon
Interesting.
II. So, without giving away what happens, they lost their lordship at some point after 130, up until now.
Okay.
So Stefan saw a chance to raise his house up back to lordship, which is why Raymond was bitching about like Targaryens not respecting our customs or our laws, whatever. No, you lost
it.
lordship because
You bet on the wrong horse.
you bet it on the wrong horse, essentially.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
dealt you a justice call. I'm not going to spoil who and what and when and all that. But Stefan saw an opportunity to raise his house to lordship, and Arion promised it. Which, how he
Can
promised him
Arion
that?
actually
He
promise that though? I
he
don't know how that
could
works.
technically
Okay.
promise, but he doesn't have to hold up to the end of his bargain. You'll still need king. You'll still need Baelor. You still need your father's permission to do
Gotcha.
things.
Yeah.
I mean, even a chance is enough for him to go to the other
Yeah.
side.
Correct.
Like he does not need a guarantee.
But he says it like, when I don't have an answer, the only answer is more glory.
More glory,
So like
yeah.
he says it right in that conversation in the tent. Like he believes that. And I think he did what he believed, which is I had a
Yeah.
chance to raise my house back up to lordship. It's a dirty
Yeah.
move. You promised a man, not just yourself, but you promised him reinforcements. You didn't deliver on any of it. You couldn't pick up other champions, even if you tried to betray Dunk.
And there's another letdown for Dunk of what it is, how a knight is supposed to comport himself, right? To behave. Like
Exactly.
you gave your word as a knight. Where's your honor?
Sold your honor. I've seen men sell their honor for far less than what I did. It's like making excuses for his actions. Like, oh, men have sold their honor for far less. Like, yeah, but that's
okay.
not how any of
That's
this
who
works.
you want to. That's who you want
That's
to
how
be.
you want to
like?
be.
Yeah.
He's a rotten apple, not like green apple that's fresh.
Yep. Not like Raymond.
I love Raymond. Oh my God. And that moment of Lionel knighting Raymond. Oh, that was so fire.
Dude,
oh my God. The way they did it, the how they framed everything, like
From
the
the
slow-mo.
birthing,
I was like,
slow-mo.
this is one slow-mo I approve. I love the slow-mo.
Yes. Yes.
Not like
Johnny
what's
would
his
approve.
face. Not like what's his face. No, I'm not gonna say
Zack
his name because
Snyder.
I don't want. She said it. Okay, hey.
Bleep
She said
out.
JJ wants problems. I don't want peace. I want problems.
I want problems always.
Always.
I didn't catch the name, but I'm afraid to ask you to say it again.
Snyder, baby. Snyder.
Oh.
We keep slow-mos every 5 minutes.
Seriously, no, you're right. You're right.
This is a slow mo I approve. No, but that was so fire though. The way they did it, it was.
So
I felt that. I was like Raymond. I
it,
felt like how Brienne felt when
Yes.
like
Yes.
Jamie did knighted her. Ah,
it
that was
Can
was
I
so
also
good.
so
point out something with that scene before we move on? So, like the way the points of view switch out, you have Raymond staring up at Lionel as he's knighting him in the name of the mother and father, da da da, and then same kind of view of Dunk looking up and sees Sir Arlen, and with Sir Arlen doing the like,
I that
like
that I
that was
laughed
so great.
so much. It was so
There's some
funny.
implications there that I think.
I love those little flashes that they had, like that they bring in of like his past and like Arlen and stuff. Like they do it so well, and like there's always like a reason and a purpose behind. I love it.
And
Kudos to the editors.
next episode, if you saw the trailer, it's going to be a flashback to Dunk when he was younger.
I'm looking
So
forward to
that,
getting to know
Yeah.
more about his
oh,
past.
Oh,
yep, yep.
yeah, I can't wait for that. I want to
That's going to be
see.
Yeah.
great.
But I was gonna say about the knighting, it felt so like cinematic, and it felt so
It did.
like
Grand, right? Like,
grand, yeah.
For a small
Like the
tourney, yeah.
just and for like a small show, like it feels like like this huge pivotal moment, and it's because like
Hmm.
so far we also like haven't gotten to see, like we haven't physically seen like a knight getting knighted, um and like
It's a big deal.
it's so cool, yeah, like they make it into such a big deal because it's a big deal for a knight to like reach that position. I mean, Dunk was a squire for so long, and like
Yeah.
finally he gets to be a knight, and it's just like I love how like grand and like
It was
cinematic they
so
made that
quiet
moment.
too.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just
So you could be immersed totally.
yes, I loved it. They did it so well, and I loved actually like hearing like the whole oath. Because remember at New York Comic Con when they had people come up
Yes.
on stage and like
oh,
actually get
yes,
knighted and do it. It was so
George was
cool.
knighting people.
I
Yeah,
loved it.
it was
So
so cool
good.
to yeah. It was like really cool like the way that they did it in the show and like giving it like that grandeur in a show like this because that is like for a night like a really pivotal moment
Yeah.
in their life to actually like get that position finally. So I'm glad that we got to see
And like,
to actually like see it be done in this way.
And for such an important reason, such an important
Exactly.
yeah.
reason, moment that why he's getting knighted is to actually
Mhm.
do something good, and what as a
Yes.
knight would,
As a knight
as a
should.
knight
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So good. So good.
And
Um,
then we
right.
get and then after now we get Dunk, like
On last leg.
now he's feeling it, now I think he's a little bit more you could tell that he's a little bit more motivated, and he has a little bit more confidence now,
But he
and now
doesn't
he
have a
wants
seventh
to.
champion though.
Yeah,
Like his head is still on the
yeah.
boulder.
No, 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 of course, that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
now, but that led to him
Hmm.
giving his amazing speech,
That's true. That is true.
yes.
Yeah.
I love that
That is
speech.
very true
I love
actually.
that
That was
speech.
so
It was
great.
so
Has the
it
so
like
courage
good.
abandoned the noble houses of Westeros? I
yes.
refuse to believe so. And then the iconic, like, are there no true knights among you? Oh my god.
Yes.
Ah,
It was so
so
good.
good.
Oh, we did such a
And
good
my
job. Yeah.
man stays writing for Sir Arlen. He makes sure that Sir Arlen is mentioned anytime that he
He
can, and
does.
remind
Yeah.
everybody, and remind my dude fought for all of y'all. Y'all don't want to play
None
stupid
of
and
you
not
remember
remember him,
him.
but he fought for you.
Mm.
He was there helping you fuckers out.
Also, I don't know if this was intentional, but I again, I'm a freak. When he's on his last leg and it's about to start, he's like, give me a just a moment, sir. And it's Lord Ashford with Arion standing right there. He's like, I'll give you a moment to find the champion. Almost like a little cue to Arion for like being a piece of shit in that council room when he told him to get the nut that fell underneath the table. I don't
Oh,
know. I
yeah,
just
yeah. Oh,
the
right, right, right.
Yeah.
he didn't have to give him a moment. He'd be like, you don't have a 7 champion.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
done.
That's it.
Over.
It's done.
Yeah.
Blow the horn and off to the gallows. You could have
Yeah.
done that. You could have done that, yeah.
Hmm.
But it was this little tiny little rebellion against the crown prince, that lunatic.
Yeah, nobody
Are
likes
there no true
Arion,
knights among
deservedly
you?
so. Like
Yeah,
everybody's
everybody
rooting
hates that
against him, but
bastard.
nobody can like actually really make moves against him. They can only like follow the rules that would
Yeah.
help Dunk.
Except
without
Egg.
doing-
Yeah, kill him. Kill him.
I guess I killed him.
Just kill him.
When Baelor told him, but that's your brother. And I was like, whatever,
Also,
bro.
so-
I don't care.
We didn't mention that part, but he's like, I hate him. I wish he killed him. And
he
then
killed
Baelor,
him,
Baelor is like, Septon tells us to love our brothers. Which,
Yeah.
great line. That's a great line. Do you know why it's so important to say that? Because you just saw Dance of Dragons or Rhaenyra and Aegon II going at it and killing a gazillion
Right.
people. His brother and
Right.
sister didn't love each other. Like, Septon tells us to love our siblings. Like, you have to love him. You see what happens.
When they
That
don't.
was so great. When they don't,
Yeah.
like, this what could happen. Like, especially like now, there's so many dragons born at this point. Not hypothetical Targaryen people.
Targaryen.
There's a lie. Like, there's too many dragons in too many dragons, too little dragons. Meaning them, the people. But I thought it was such a great line.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get the creme of the creme fucking badass entrance. Like, are you kidding me?
Like,
I had a feeling.
I jumped, I screamed, I was like, let's fucking go.
so good.
I had noticed
So
that
good.
his seat was empty, like before that, when they were like kind of showing like the arena and whatever. I noticed that his seat was empty. I was like, where is he? And then I was like, could he? Nah. Could he? Nah. And then I just like kind of like, I thought when the whole Brood of Bracken thing happened, I was like, yes. And
Oh
not
God,
knowing
I
anything
forgot about
Bracken.
that.
But then, like, as
asshole.
soon as that music hit, like, for some reason, I completely forgot that Baelor wasn't in his seat. And I was like, who's it gonna be?
He's wearing his
Please
son.
don't me
But
in.
he's wearing his son's armor. Everybody, like, at least in the novella, thought this was Valar Targaryen. He's like, oh, Prince Valar,
you're
Prince
right.
Valar, and then he takes off his helmet, and he's like, oh, it's Baelor.
Baelor.
They still,
Baelor,
like,
yeah, because it's Valar's.
and like they do that entrance like so well, where like you get so sucked
Diva
in that, like,
entrance.
even when they have
Diva.
like, you know, the Easter eggs of like telling you kind of what's gonna happen in the story. Like, I noticed his seat was empty, and I was like, where is he? Where is he gonna come out from? There's no way he's missing this,
I wasn't
right?
even paying
And
attention
then
to that.
as
Good
soon as
call.
like, the music and like all of that, it still got me. I was like, oh my god, it's Baelor.
No, it worked.
Even though I
It
knew.
worked.
Dude,
Oh,
so
man, it
good.
was so
The Aura farming
so good.
worked with the Ramin Djawadi music, original, like with him strolling in. He's like,
Dude.
Oh god,
I
yeah.
will take
And
some
then
Duncan
so-
side.
the memes and the edits of him taking his helmet off and like him acting like he has
Hilarious.
long hair because he's like swing, like he just like does like this. I was like, oh my god.
Edits have been like perfect. Bertie Carvel is getting his flowers.
So
Like
good.
girlies are losing their mind for him. So don't log on to internet, Bertie, please. People are very unhinged.
Do not search up your name. Do not search up your character's name.
I'm telling you, like,
Oh my
the
god.
miserable old man agenda is growing, especially in this.
No, but it's actually Makar. I think it would surprise him the most seeing the edits that people
Yeah.
have of Makar
Oh my god, he would lose it.
because it's like I'm miserable as fuck in the whole show. Are you guys really like into that? Yes, we are.
Bleeding the
Yes.
whole time. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Please,
we
Internet
are.
This man
loves
oblivious.
miserable old men. Huh?
Please keep this man oblivious. I don't want any interviewers pulling up freaking like Twitter or like TikTok edits in interviews being like, have you seen this? Do you know what people are calling
No,
it?
no,
Please
no.
let-
Keep it
please
for
let
us.
me
I would lose it.
listen.
Let's just us have
Leave
it.
them oblivious, please, please.
Every time they do that to a celebrity, I cringe so hard. It's not even
Let
fun. I hate
fandom
it.
culture stay within the fandom. If they want to seek it out,
Yes,
that's
let
on
us
them.
have
Don't
it,
put
have our
don't
fun.
force it on
Yeah.
them. Just for like whatever little viral clip that's gonna be hella awkward. Like, just let them.
Like
have,
I'm
let us
sure
have our
people
fun.
in
Let them have
people
their
in their
fun.
lives will probably show them. If they want to
Mhm.
bring it up, then let them do it. You know,
Right.
Yeah,
let them be the
have
ones comfortable
interactions
to
with
talk
Do
fans.
not
about it.
Don't,
invite
like,
it. Fandom
force
spaces
Yeah.
should be for fans, not for the
Yeah.
actors. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
No.
Yeah.
we're all three of us here are huge proponents of that. People are really weird. They were
Yeah.
weird about Pedro Pascal. They're getting weird. They have gotten weird about Connor Hudson and Hudson
Yeah.
Williams and Connor's story. Like it's gotten
And from
like to the
heated
point of,
rivalry,
like,
yes.
the
Yeah, like, if
parasocialness
their
of
own
it all has been
teams-
very weird.
Yeah, like if they seek it out or their own teams show it to them, fine. But like, don't make it awkward for like the fandom spaces and awkward for them just like putting it right in front of them. Like if they comment on it or they say whatever, like fine.
That's
like,
them
let
being
those
comfortable with
two-
that. But don't put them
let
on the
choose
spot,
how they
you
want
know?
to interact with fans. Like don't like force those interactions, and also let fans have the freedom to be able to like express themselves however they want without having all these eyes on them and being like afraid that
Or
their
like
tweet
being
is going
worried,
to
oh,
be
they're gonna show it to
um,
them, and I'm gonna be
yeah,
embarrassed because
exactly.
I
Like
would
let
literally have
us
to
have our
dig
fun.
a
Let people
hole for myself, I swear.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Let like the two spaces sort of like
let us
How
let
about
have a
us
little
this?
bit
let
of
us have fun
Two
separation.
with
circles, not
Makar's facial
event.
expressions in edits, because Makar's facial expression, the edits that they've
He's too
done, is I love
funny.
it because I get to see all his expressions in one place. I
Sam
love it.
Yeah.
It's
Spruell
so
is
good.
very like he's so like emotive. Like his face speaks a billion languages. He doesn't have to say a word. All he has to do is look at the camera or look at the character. You'll know exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
for Makar, that works so well here. Like especially because he, and opposite of Baelor, who's really well spoken, is a lot more softer. He's a little bit more not as rough around the edge as his brother. So
As
like two of them
Breaker,
like
yeah.
Yeah. I
bouncing
mean, he
off
doesn't
each
have
other, like
sons
perfect.
aging him 20 years
That is true.
every single
Valar,
day. Like poor
So
guy is
bad.
just like
So
just trying
bad.
to like a single dad who works two jobs. It's just
Oh
like
my God.
he has to contain himself, like because if he says everything that's on his mind, it will never end.
right?
So he's just it just has to come out in the
Ever.
facial expressions
Too
while he
funny.
schools what he says.
Valar and Mataris are way less stressful for for Baelor and Janet than Darian.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
And but no, but this is great. I think the next episode, episode 5, is gonna be very intense. Super intense, super well. We know we're gonna get flashbacks, so we don't know how it's gonna go, but either way it's gonna be intense because we're gonna get Dunk's kind of story, and I'm sure it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be something. We know that he went through a lot as a child before he met up with Sir Arlen. So yeah,
And I think if you remember episode 1, they did like a season overview.
Mm,
They show like they spoiled a lot in that overview. I would have advised very much
I
against
haven't
it.
seen it,
They
but
they show some glimpses of an event that
mm,
happened 13 years ago from where we're at. So you're gonna see the kind of the after effect of a really intense war.
hmm.
So I
Does he
think
say he was living in Flea Bottom specifically, or just King's Landing?
if he's from Flea Bottom, King's
Does
Landing is a
he?
huge city, but he said I think
Yeah,
he no, he said it was from Flea Bottom that his
because
dad
he
was
said
selling
it.
the pot of brown, the
Oh, you're
Foley
right. He
brown.
does mention Flea Bottom. So like you
Yeah.
know it's not great. We've seen glimpses of like King's Landing and a bit of
When
Flea
you
Bottom
have people
in House of
stacked
the
up on
Dragon,
top of each other, it's gonna be extreme poverty. Yeah, for
right? Like
sure.
like we've seen enough of Flea Bottom. Like it wasn't a whole lot, but we saw enough of that in House of the Dragon. So you know it's going to be bleak in some way. I was going to say like nobody chooses to just like be a squire to a hedge knight if they have other options available to them.
yeah. Oh gosh. But anyway, guys, before we sign off right now, I want to say thank you guys for being here again. Always love our discussions. Love being here with you guys. Real quick, where you guys can be found on social media and stuff.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter under Lady Dragon JJ. And thank you for having me. I cannot wait to do it again for the next episode. You guys are amazing, and I love doing this with you.
Yes. What about Sue? You?
Again, Sue's Theories on mainly Instagram and TikTok, a little bit on Twitter, but not as often anymore. And yeah, I love doing these. Like I love specifically like talking about this world, this universe with the two of you. So thank you for having me again, and I'm so glad I'm back. FOMO
Yes.
from the last two episodes.
Same. And you guys can find me at Star Wars Tia, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff. But this is going to wrap up this episode of Temple of Geek. Thank you so much for everybody that came here. You guys, if you want to keep, we dropped already, the first 3 episodes as well before. You could go find that on YouTube. We have clips on TikTok as well and Instagram. And if you guys want to anything nerdy, cultural, whatever, we have it on templeofgeek.com, our website, and all our socials as well. So, yes, can't wait for next episode. Hope you guys tune in. Bye.
I need a background for next time.
Yes.
I love it.